What's up, guys? Welcome to Box Football, and I'm here with me and Jack to talk about our good old buddy Neymar, one of my favorite players of all time. But yeah, but not Jack's favorite guy. Let's be honest. Jack has a bit of
No.
agenda, just a little bit, Jack. But
I'm not gonna lie. I do have a little bit of an agenda with Neymar. I'll own that. That's okay. I'm honestly
you
okay with
can't
that.
admit he's a wonderful football
Oh,
player.
the talent is a joke. The talent is unbelievable. I just there's some decisions over the course of his career, whether it's people in his ear or whether it's him himself. Not a big fan of some of his choices, but yeah, there
But
we go.
speaking of decisions, it's looking like Neymar might have another decision on his hands right now, with rumors circulating about PSG's unhappiness with him and how they're willing to let him go. Now, there's just comments made from the president, Jack. I hope you have it there. Could you please let
Yeah, I do.
everyone know?
So Nasser Al-KHELAIFI recently just said a possible departure for Neymar this summer, like kind of as a question, like he was posing that as a question to the reporter. What I can tell you is that we expect all players to do a lot more than last season. They have to be 100%. We weren't good enough to go far. You have to become humble. I think that's an important word. That's a real kind of twist of the knife there. You have to avoid injuries, another twist of the knife there, suspensions and fouls that change a game. So again, to me, there's a lot in there. And James, it's also a lot of the stuff he does not say, right? If you're keeping a guy, you're keeping a guy because you're keeping a guy because you're keeping a guy, you talk differently. You ask Pep Guardiola if there's reported interest in Kevin De Bruyne. What do you think the response is going to be? Do you think it's going to be, there was a possible departure for Kevin De Bruyne? No, he's going to just flat out go, no, under no circumstances, no. Not possibly. Well, what I can tell you, avoid the question, is that we need better from our players. We need them to be more humble. We need them to not have injuries around their sister's birthday or whatever the hell, thing he does every season. So to me, James, there's some bad blood there. My concern is, and I'm sure we'll get into this a bit later, I don't know if you want to start talking about this now, like, where's this guy going? This guy's on like 850,000 euros a week. There is a handful of one, maybe two football clubs in the world who can afford this guy.
Jack, to me, it's a weird one. Like, I do understand them comments there, and yes, when you have a player of Neymar's ability, you expect him to say, "Oh, like Neymar's going nowhere." It's smart from him because he's not just saying, "Oh yeah, we want Neymar." Of course, they want Neymar to stay. I think it's more or less keeping him on his toes because they
Right.
realize in the past 2 years, a little bit, like he's taking his foot off his pedal. They haven't seen the greatness of Neymar in the last 2 years. And let's be honest, at this moment of time, he's probably PSG's third best player. And he came there
Right.
wanting to be the man. Has it been all what, like, the money that they pay for him? Has he lived up to that price tag? No. From the
No.
point of view of, like, there was one goal. It's not about your Ligue 1 titles. It's not about your French league titles. Delivering that Champions League. And yes, they came close in 2020, but it just hasn't been good enough. And Jack, yes, you mentioned that. I think the biggest thing for Neymar is to me fitness. Always having something going on with him injury wise, and then obviously he's in Paris, the party antics and all that sort of stuff there. Listen, at the end of the day, that's who Neymar is. Ronaldo was like that. Like Ronaldinho was like that. That's just Brazil for you. You got to be able to take the good with the bad with players like that. And like we accepted that with Ronaldinho, we accepted that with R9, knowing that they were gonna deliver. I just think that Neymar probably needs to look at himself right now and realize that I'm 30. Yeah, I'm not getting younger. Yeah, I have the next 3 years to get the job done. And all the talk that everyone has had about me, saying is he is he as good as people make him out to be? Put it to rest. And these next 3 years for Neymar, I think is so vital.
Yeah.
Vital, not only for PSG, but especially Jack. This is probably going to be his last World Cup, and him having to deliver. So all them type of stuff there of not being able to be fit at a certain point, he needs to be able to be firing around November. Because Jack, the worst part about it, yes, you don't deliver a Champions League for PSG, but if you mess up with Brazil, that's Jack. It's a different ball game there, and like we know how bad, and then we know how emotional Brazilians are. We know how easily they are to point a finger and crucify someone. And Neymar to me is a Brazilian all-time great, but if he can't deliver that big moment at a World Cup, he'll never be considered a great overall. And I've been rambling like a lot about Neymar because I appreciate him as a football
Yeah,
player.
no, of
And I
course.
hear this notion about, oh, is he world class? Is he this? Is he that? Guys, if you think Neymar can't cut it or isn't world class, then I don't know what's wrong with you. You might
Yeah,
need to check yourself into a psychiatrist because
yeah.
this guy's take Messi and Ronaldo. He is, in my opinion, the best footballer of this
Yeah,
generation.
this guy's a Ballon d'Or contender every
He's
single year. Even with Messi and Ronaldo, this guy should be a Ballon d'Or contender. And anybody, like, if he doesn't make the transition to PSG, if you think since Neymar's moved to PSG, if he never did that and stayed at Barcelona this whole time, that he's not performing at a top level the entire time, you are crazy. The guy has unbelievable talent. His move to PSG is the problem. And James, again, to talk about this here very quickly about, let's kind of put our cards down on the table here. What's going to happen? He's going to make it work at PSG. Eric Ten Hag is not going to have Neymar.
but
Manchester
Jack,
United
but
is
Jack, this
not.
is but this is where I wanted to go with it. Like for me, I just don't think he just doesn't have to, like, just because of what's happened. I think it's, you gotta look at it from the point of view, Jack. That price tag is, he broke football.
Yeah,
And
he
for
did.
him not to get the job done at PSG, I think it's going to be a serious dent. But there are rumors about him leaving. I don't think it's going to happen. But let's actually
No,
look at
there's
the
no way.
suitors. Let's look at the teams possible for him to go. You think it's two?
James, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's one.
Okay.
Really, I think it's one.
I'm going to throw a few names out there, and you got to tell
Okay.
me what you think. I'm going to start off with Juventus. What do you think about it? They've
No,
always, like,
financially
obviously.
not possible. I mean, that would have to be, Arto would have to leave. Man, a lot of players would have to leave, mate. I mean,
I,
like, again,
and they recently got
they're
Pogba
about to
too.
sign Pogba. I mean, there's rumors about the Di Maria
Di
deal
Maria
potentially
deal.
as well. Like, James, they would need to get rid of half their squad to try and
But to be fair,
squeeze
they
him
did
in.
fill up space by getting, like, Dybala is a free agent now, so he won't be at
He's
the
gone.
football club. So there
Morata's
is,
obviously not come back. So look, I'm not against it there, but James, I mean, we're not talking about the difference between 200 grand a week and 400 grand a week. We're talking about 850,000 euros a
first of
week
all,
here. So Neymar would need to take nearly a 40-50% pay cut. Now, I would respect the hell out of him if he did that, and I want him to, but he's not going to do that. I think you and I both know that.
okay, I'm going to give you another name now. To me, these next two are probably the biggest suitors. At this moment, let's start off with Chelsea, Jack. What do you
I
think about the
like it.
deal to Chelsea?
I like it. I like it. Seriously.
Uh,
Lukaku's out the door. You have no disrespect any Chelsea fans watching, but you have wingers with talent but no teeth. You're bringing in a guy with sharp teeth who can bag you a goal, who can draw a foul, who can give you some of that Hazard energy. And also, I'm not gonna lie, Prime Hazard was nice. Prime Neymar at Stamford Bridge could be a different gravy altogether. So I'm not saying, I'm not trying to will that into happen. And James, I'll be honest with you as well. Who are the new owners of Chelsea Football Club? Americans, right? What do Americans like? They like splashy signings. They like selling shirts. They like marketing.
Franchise, they like franchise players.
Franchise guy, face of the franchise, right? Neymar Jr. is your cup of tea. So James, that's the main one that sticks out to me. If Ziyech can leave, if a bunch of these defenders are leaving, if Lukaku's leaving, I like it.
And you mentioned Lukaku, Ziyech, and also Timo
James,
Werner being linked away.
Werner potentially leaving too. But James, to your point here, Juventus can't afford him. Chelsea can afford him. That's the thing. There are two teams that can afford him. Man United's the other team, again, who can afford him. So to me, it's Man United or Chelsea. I would, if I'm Chelsea as well, like, what have you got to lose? Go for it.
Jack, I think the craziest thing for me when I look at Chelsea, I feel Chelsea want that marquee guy this year. There's a reason why they're gonna let Ziyech go. Lukaku, who was their record signing, they let him go. There's a spot there. Chelsea fans, when you speak to them, they still mention about Eden Hazard and what he brought in the flair and how amazing he was as a winger. Chelsea have never been able to replace and bring in that creative winger like Eden Hazard. But if they can bring in a player like Neymar, London too for Neymar, we all know what like the London scene's like there. That probably makes the biggest sense. Chelsea, I feel like if that's a deal, then that would be amazing for me, both parties. But another one I'm going to move on to, Jack, Manchester United. How much of a possibility is this? Because let's be honest, Jack, can Manchester United afford them? Yes, they can.
Of course, but what I would say to you, mate, is you've got two big egos in the same dressing room. there with Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar. I don't know how big of fans they are of one another, and the way that Erik ten Hag is looking to build his football, which is very team heavy, having a bunch of, you know, quite outrageous individuals. I mean, James, Neymar, and I mean, talk about egos. Apart from Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I mean, think Neymar and Ronaldo on the same team. I mean, you're talking about two of the biggest. So to me, it's one of the least likely signings, I would say. That would be a very Glazer, that would be a Glazer fingerprint signing if that would happen. And also, if Man United announced the signing of Neymar, I would fully expect Manchester United to announce Cristiano Ronaldo leaving the football club as well.
But Neymar did put out a thing that he says one day he would love to play with Cristiano Ronaldo. Don't know how likely that is looking at Ronaldo's age, but
maybe at Miami.
You never know. I feel like the one thing you look at with this deal is that the way Manchester United has brought in players and like the attitudes of them. You say, oh, now they're bringing a player like Neymar. It doesn't work out. Look, they had the Pogba issues and your Rashfords and Bruno Fernandes and how just
Neymar,
the dressing room broke. Jesse
Neymar's
Lingard.
It's a very 2016 Manchester United rumor, I think. And again, that was the Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Paul Pogba kind of signings, right? Splashy signings. I just don't see it.
But Jack, the biggest thing about this is that if you look at Manchester United, they've always want that outstanding football player. As much as people look at Ferguson in like the way he was, Ferguson was always willing to accommodate outstanding individuals like Cristiano Ronaldo, who didn't always track back, like Eric Cantona, and like these crazy personalities that can deliver on the pitch. Neymar is that sort of maverick that Manchester United have always loved.
Look, I'm not going to deny that at all, but I think Erik ten Hag is different gravy, and I think that we are going to see a little bit of a taskmaster, a very team first guy here. And again, from all reports, from all history, this is a very kind of you do your job or you're out the door kind of guy. And I don't know how much room there's going to be for mavericks under Erik ten Hag at Manchester United.
Now, Jack, I'm going to throw one more name out there. Yeah, and this one is probably a bit more harder to get by. People will ask me, James, why would you put that out there? It doesn't work out. Arsenal. I'm only playing. I'm only playing.
Edu, James, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Listen, we'll get into that stuff. But another one that to me it's been rumored for so many years, and I feel like this deal has always been a match made in heaven, but it just never ever happened. And that's Neymar to Real Madrid, Jack.
I know.
We like for so many years it's been especially during his time at Barcelona, even before Barcelona. I remember when he was a kid, he went to Real Madrid and he was meant to sign and it didn't go through. And during his time at PSG, rumors about Real Madrid. Now, or is it a thing because of Vinicius, because of how good Rodrigo has been for Real Madrid? Is it a thing that it's passed by? It's Undertaker versus Sting. It's just it was great. It was great. The rumors were great, but not now.
Never happened, right? First of all, let's talk about logistics. Your front three is Benzema 9, and then you've got two wingers. You've got Neymar, you've got Vinicius, let's say, because Vinicius is a better player than Rodrigo, of course.
Yeah, yes.
Who's playing right wing? Okay, so logistically, and again, I don't even need an answer, but logistically, there's one issue. Second of all, let's fast forward 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Who do we know is going to be on the market at that point? Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland. We know Real Madrid will be back in for these guys at some point. So is Neymar going to come in and sign a 2 or 3 year deal? No. Neymar's probably going to come in, sign at least a 3 or 4 year deal. And within that time period, we're going to have the interest again rear its head for Haaland and for Mbappe. Are we going to get a Neymar, 33-year-old Neymar, Erling Haaland and Mbappe front three? No, we're not. Right? This is not FIFA Ultimate Team. It's not going to happen. But James, look, I agree with you. Talk about Hollywood, talk about drama. When Neymar was leaving Santos and he was either going to Barcelona or going to Real Madrid, I wanted him to go to Real Madrid. He was a better fit there, in my opinion. It ended up being amazing at Barcelona, no question about it. But I would have preferred to see him at Real Madrid.
I just think the white and Neymar just always seem to make sense. Dude, but guys,
seriously, Santos to Real Madrid to somewhere in England, like that was my kind of dream for Neymar. But to Barcelona, which to be fair was sick, but then went to PSG, I'm just like, dude, what are you doing?
But guys, tell me what you think. Listen, we all know Neymar's ability, and when we're both still shocked that there's rumors about PSG wanting to let him go. But if he does go, Chelsea fans, Manchester United fans, Juventus fans, Real Madrid fans, or whoever would like Neymar, comment down below, where do you think Neymar would go? Guys, this is Box to Box Football. Please hit that subscribe button, and me and Jack will see you guys next time.